grave from the punishment, does it continue to protect the person until they go to paradise, or is it just enough for the grave? Is it just limited to the grave?
Part of it? No, I think all of it should be recited. That's what I think.
The protection that it gives in the grave, is that enough? Is it just limited to the grave? Is that protection just in the grave? Or does
Yes,
everyone?
this is limited to the grave. Yes?
With regards to being careful with urine, would you mind just clarifying that a little bit, what that means? Like a few examples?
What was it?
Being careful with urine.
Okay. Because as I understood, from this hadith, this one of the major factor to have the person punished, in the grave, was when some of us out of hurry or out of disease, they may stand up, they may clean themselves, and they may have drops, of urine after it, which is going to stay in their clothes, And by this, he did not protect himself, or herself, of this problem. We cannot have everyone, in the same way. Some of us have different nature than the other. And if all of us should understand how to be highly sure, that nothing is going to come out after it. In many occasions, you may have something coming out after. And this is, as we learned in fiqh and other, is going to invalidate prayer, is going to have him hamil najasa, is going to expose him to jinn, is going to make him have hard time, in the grave area, and you name it. So that's why it was highlighted by the Prophet. Yes?
What other things cause punishment of the grave? As mentioned, Hadith.
I'm trying to remember, I'm not quite sure, but in some ahadith, I don't know how strong that you are going to be asked about many other deeds, about your prayer, about anything. Here, I would like to have it as straight one, clear one, I don't want to complicate myself or the other by saying you are going to be asked or this about this or that. If we are concerned about this stage, that all of us we are going to go through it, we should start taking care of these two major points were mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ. And this is not by chance, This hadith has been narrated from different companions, which means that it has a lot of change. That's why I would like. I cannot say these are the two major points, but this has been mentioned in very strong way to make everyone of us aware about it, and the importance of them, that they may happen, with very trivial and without intention, to anyone, That's why we should have some extra care about it. Yes, yourself.
Is it sinful to
Make it louder to make everyone hear.
to go to the bathroom without a hat? Is that sinful?
We should differentiate between what's is obligation and what's not. Okay? The obligation here to avoid exposure to urine or other najasa, okay, not to face the qibla. Okay. This is adab. To cover the head while you are in the toilet, this is adab. This is not obligation, not sunnah. Yes?
About spreading false tales, hearsay, and not investigating hearsay. Is that considered the same? If that's the case, then anybody who listens to a scholar doesn't really have Bukhari in his house to say that it is in Bukhari when a scholar's narrating it. How do you sort of solve this equation?
The first component of your question, I fully understood it, that no, we shouldn't be used. The Prophet ﷺ, another hadith says, بِئْسَ مَطِيَّةِ الرَّجُلِ زَعَمُ. This was said, and he's going to convey and speak anything he wants to speak about. This is not this condemned by the Prophet ﷺ. The other portion about the scholar and Bukhari, I did not fully understand what you mean by this.
So a scholar says hadith is in Bukhari and he's doing a speech, and I listen and I say, okay, I trust the scholar, but I don't go to Sahih al-Bukhari because I don't have that in my home. I don't investigate what I'm saying, but I can pass it on. Or
If that person is specialized, yes, but I don't have this, I don't like this idea. Yani I would like, whenever you want to take any one word, go back and look at it, or ask those who are expert in it. You have a question there?
Sorry. Regarding when you're reading the nakedness for like when they bathe, what's the rule of warning that if someone removes the nakedness when they bathe? Because I don't know if it's recommended, but it's more proportional for them not to do that.
To do what? I did not.
Removing their nakedness, the aura, when they bathe.
In the bayt,
When they Muslim.
going to the ghusl. Okay. Yes. This, according to many scholars, yes, you should cover, the private organs, not the whole body, only those areas. Yes.
So is there a connection between not wearing or not covering one's head in the bathroom and hair loss?
No, I don't think that. I don't remember any connection. Other questions? Yes. Definition of namima means when you convey or transmit what has been said between two persons, to another person. And this creates a lot of enmity, a lot of problems, a lot of offensive, matters, and this is going to cause fitna in the whole community. Even though you may be truthful, but this truth shouldn't be spread. You have a question here, my friend? Right.
Is it bid'ah to go into the bathroom wearing the sandals of the Prophet?
Good question. Anything in this life which has been made easier for us, we may use it, we don't call it bid'ah. Bid'ah, basically, it's related to our religious matters. This is not religious matter, this is natural matter. About the minimal amount of najasa. Firstly, we shouldn't take this as something to be practiced every day. That's why I say this is not accepted by many scholars, Even if you are Hanafi, you should look at the other mazhabs, And here, according to Shafi'i, Hanbali, you are not permitted to have even the minimum amount of najasa. Okay? Here we should have strong observation and watching of those matters. And whenever it happened by chance, we may excuse ourselves. Okay? When we start excusing ourselves, my expectation is that we are going to go beyond even the Hanafi mazhab. Okay? This is my point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best one to accept excuses. But since this is going to be perhaps problematic to some of the sick person or some of the old person, we should pay a lot of attention to it. And whenever it happens, we may go by the excuse. But in my feeling, when we start with the excuse, it's going to go beyond what is permitted in Hanafi mazhab. This question, what is it?
Sorry, so recently Muhammad asked a question about wearing the sandal. So is it okay to go in the bathroom with the sandal or one to cover the sandal?
Anything which is highly respected should be covered.
The question is, what is the actual punishment for for not using the toilet properly. So, for example, standing up and urinating for men.
I don't know specifically, you know, we are not going to imagine, you know, but when we see, when we hear the word punishment mentioned that from the Prophet ﷺ, we should get scared, you know, about it, okay? And one of the punishment which was mentioned, that the grave is going to squeeze that person, you know, completely, which we cannot tolerate, yes?
Going back to Hadith 21 again, I think there was two parts to it. I think the brother didn't read out the second part. So the first part saying the one who doesn't put his back to the direction of the Qibla, and so whoever does not face the Qibla, direction of prayer, and has his back towards it, he has a good deed recorded for him and a bad deed wiped for him. The second part is saying it's a prohibition.
Yes.
So just to clarify, is it something just recommended not to face the Qibla, or is it a direct prohibition?
It's prohibited. It's a good question. It's prohibited. Other questions? Okay. Move to next hadith, or yes, we still have 5 minutes. We'll go by this next hadith. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يدخل الحمام، ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يدخل حليلته الحمام، من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يشرب الخمر، من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يجلس على مائدة يشرب عليها الخمر، من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يخلون بامرأة ليس بينه وبينها محرم. رواه الطبراني في الكبير وفي يحيى بن أبي سليمان المدني.
Samir bin Nass radiallahu anhu reports from the from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said, "Whoever believes in Allah and the last day will not enter public baths without a wraparound. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day will not take his wife into public baths. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day will not drink wine. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day will not sit at a dining table where wine is strong. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day will not be alone with a woman with whom he does not have a marriageable relative."
Yes. As you may see, all of these, they are practical points that we should adapt to our life, you know, and make it, you know, done, you know, by us as a habit, you know, every day. And the Prophet ﷺ started by saying, whoever believes in Allah and the last day. And this is just to pay our attention that people may not feel that seriousness, you know, about it, you know. And the Prophet ﷺ put it in this serious matter. And this I admire a lot, you know, because this has been derived from the Holy Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about certain type of iddah, لِمَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Yes.
With regards to being alone, is that like a room or hall or how? What is it in there?
In English, they call it privacy. Okay. Yes.
Would a swimming pool be considered a public bath?
Yes. And this is the point, you know, perhaps this one of the reasons I put this hadith here, you know, to be careful, you know, to get undressed, especially for the woman, you know, outside the home, you know, because especially in such country, I expect, even in our countries, in some areas, we have a lot of what we think that we are in privacy, you know, but we are going to be seen by others. And that's why perhaps this was instructed by the Prophet ﷺ not to stop or close this door from the beginning. We'll start with our friend there.
Can you clarify privacy? Expand on it. Like one room, the woman was sitting in one room and the man was in another room. Is that privacy?
No, this is not considered a privacy. It may be prohibited if the expectation that they may get exposed to each other. But I don't call it khalwa. Yes?
He asked if you can elaborate on what you mean by privacy.
When you have the male and female in the same place, that they may do whatever they want to do. Yes.
Is there an age, like after a certain age, doesn't affect because the desire's not there, for example, like 60s or 70s, you know. You're in old people's home working there, you know.
I fully understand your question, but I'm a little bit hesitant, because I'm sorry to say that we have the stimulation, all over the place nowadays, and this for me is real problem. Okay, that's why even for the youngster, for the old, you don't know, you cannot decide for them. Don't expect that those people they are, or the pious people or whatever. Everyone is a human. Everyone has a nature. Okay, and this is may flare up whenever you don't know. Yes.
Shaykh, in terms of swimming pools for ladies, does that mean even if they're fully covered, because there's lots of costumes now, where they could be fully covered?
And that's what has been understood by some of those scholars, serving in Hadith. And I would like to see this measurement, this taking place. Yes?
There was a part about wine being served at the dining table. Is that also the same if it's on another table, but if it's in the same room, or?
Let's say no. No, it's not the same. If we are in a non-Muslim environment, and they want to drink alcohol, should we eat somewhere else? Yes, it's better, to change the table, and not join that, according to what has been instructed in this hadith. Would being in a lift be considered as khalwa? I don't want to be tough, or difficult, but if it's possible, yes, get out of the lift. If the couple they are with each other, they should practice this covering. No, be little bit more flexible. What's about regarding khalwa sitting with a patient or a doctor? Again, this is for doctor, for patient, for everyone, You should find a way of having a nurse or having someone else, attending the same place. Is swimming at a public pool permitted? According to what I understand from this last hadith, no. What do you mean by public bath? Whenever the aura is going to be exposed to other people, and this is, I don't think include when you have this small toilet room, when you go in, even though this may be called public, but here you don't have anyone seeing you. Work-related dinners. Okay, even though I think the other, usually they respect, that you say, I'm sorry, in my Islamic teaching, I cannot have, wine on the same table. If you are interested in doing so, I'm going to move to another table. Is it permitted to eat at a restaurant, serve alcohol? I cannot say it's haram, but try not to have it on your table. I think we should stop here, to go for Asr prayer, and we'll come back, if someone has a question about this matter, let him write it down to remember it.